Some people believe remorse is part of being human, that no matter how far you fall, guilt is the anchor that drags you back toward decency. But the courtroom doesn't always bear that out. I am Detective Drayk, and today I'm taking you inside the minds of 5 killers who stood before the world. Cold, proud, and utterly unrepentant. The first was a man known to his neighbors as the Quiet One, the kind who smiled without showing teeth. During trial, he sat with his hands folded neatly, like he was waiting for a bus. Not a flicker of emotion when the families spoke. Not a blink when the photographs were shown. Only once did he react, when the judge pronounced life without parole. He chuckled, a soft, almost grateful sound, like he'd gotten exactly what he wanted all along. Second was a woman who wore a white dress to her sentencing, as if she were attending her own wedding. She met each accusation with a tilt of her head, studying the jury like curiosities at a museum. When the verdict came, she smiled so widely, her teeth looked predatory. Afterward, I asked a guard how she spent her nights in holding. He said she laughed in her sleep. Third was a teenager, barely old enough to drive. His crime was brutal enough to shake even the most seasoned detectives. In court, he stared at the ceiling, twirling a pen between his fingers. No apology, no regret, only boredom, like the proceedings were an inconvenience. At sentencing, he muttered, "Whatever," under his breath. I remember thinking how easy it had been for him, how little it had cost him to cross the line most of us never even approach. The fourth killer was different. He was polite, thanked the judge, nodded at the prosecution, apologized to his family for the embarrassment, but never once acknowledged the victims. It was a performance, and a convincing one, if you weren't looking closely. But I was. Behind the courteous mask, there was nothing. Just a hollow space where a conscience should have been. He didn't regret what he had done. He only regretted getting caught. And then there was the fifth, the one I'll never forget. She didn't speak a word throughout the entire trial. No testimony, no defense, just silence. But it wasn't the silence of shame. It was the silence of contempt. When the verdict was read, she turned her head slowly, locking eyes with every person in the room as if memorizing them, like she was promising herself it wasn't over. I still think about her sometimes, how some monsters don't hide under beds. They sit across from you, calm and smiling. Remorse is supposed to be the last line of defense between humanity and savagery. When it's absent, it leaves a hole so deep, no punishment can ever really fill it. Some people don't feel sorry. They just feel inconvenienced, and if you don't know how to spot them, you'll never see the blade until it's already buried deep.